Welcome to part 16 of our holiday of a lifetime. In this video, we arrive in Whittier, Alaska and get up close and personal with the glaciers of Prince William Sound. Well, hello, I'm Rhonda.
And I'm Andrew.
And welcome to part 16 of our holiday of a lifetime, which shows our day in Whittier, Alaska.
Yes.
Well, due to missing our last port in Japan, we arrived a day early in Alaska. And so this resulted in the Royal Princess being able to firstly cruise the College Fjord, which was actually not on our original itinerary.
Yeah, it was a real bonus, wasn't it?
Oh,
Because we'd left Japan early and
that's right.
And thinking we'd go straight to Whittier, but no, they threw this in at the last moment. What a great surprise.
It's a bonus, wasn't it?
It was. Now, College Fjord is in Alaska's Prince William Sound, and the fjord contains many glaciers. Most are named after US colleges.
That's right. This gave us the opportunity to view several of these glaciers, including one of the largest, being Harvard Glacier, plus Smith and Bryn Mawr glaciers. These are tidal water glaciers, which mean they terminate into the water.
We cruised very slowly and sat out on our balcony to take in this amazing scenery.
Drink in hand.
Drink in hand. and just viewing it was just superb. And at the end of right next to the Harvard Glacier, where as far as the ship could get up, it actually did a 360-degree circle turn, which enabled every passenger the opportunity to admire this fantastic view. This unexpected itinerary inclusion was such a great start to our
Alaskan holiday. Certainly was. We docked in Whittier for our overnight stay, and the weather was cold, wet and miserable. I think the temperature got to at least -5 degrees.
Oh God, it was
possibly
cold.
even colder.
The wind chill factor would have been worse.
Oh, it was freezing.
Yeah. Now, Whittier, now I'm saying Whittier too. Whittier is located 60 miles south of Anchorage and is predominantly a fishing town. There's only one way in and out via a one-lane road train track, travelling under a mountain into a tunnel bored through 2 miles of solid rock. And this tunnel shuts down at night, leaving Whittier cut off until the morning.
That's right, and we did a little bit of research and they said if something really desperate happens, they're really quite stuck. Unless I think they can get planes in.
Yeah, probably helicopters or things like that.
Or something. But yeah, a bit daunting, isn't it? To think that you're
cut off
isolated
at night.
Absolutely. Anyway, this town has a population of 257 people, and 85% of the people reside in the Beckich Towers, which is a building 14 stories high and houses a church, post office, laundromat, a country store.
I think it's got a bowling alley too.
And a picture theatre as well, I think.
Yeah.
And it's often called the town under one roof.
The climate in Whittier is extreme and temperatures can drop to somewhere near -33 degrees, and they have snowfall of something like 260 inches annually. And when it's not snowing,
it's raining.
It rains. That's all it does. It rains.
It's bleak. It just must be grey and bleak nearly every day. Our Princess Shore tour was called 26 Glacier Cruise, and it was a 5-hour cruise to Prince William Sound, incorporating a hot lunch. which was a choice of seafood chowder or hot dogs.
Yes, I remember I had the seafood chowder.
And I had the hot dogs, which were surprisingly okay.
Yeah, it was good.
They were good. They were warm. You needed something warm in your stomach. We boarded a catamaran called the Klondike Express, which is a 40-metre long and carries 350 passengers.
And heated too.
Yes, but he couldn't heat it to any great degree because he said if we have it too hot inside and it's freezing cold outside, it'll all mist up inside.
That's right.
And we won't be able to see.
Yeah, that's right. So they had.
So even though it was heated, it wasn't heated very much.
No. The itinerary included Blackstone Glacier, a tour around Coalcross Island and back to the College Fjord to see the Hubbard Glacier again, which we'd seen on the Royal Princess.
But this time is so much better.
Yeah, because we're getting up nice and close and personal.
That's right, very close.
It was very slippery and wet disembarking Royal Princess because Whittier had lived up to its reputation of rain.
And sleet.
and
even snow.
Even so. So we had to be very careful walking down the ramp from Royal Princess. We got off early before the cruise tour as we wanted to explore some of Whittier, but it was just far too wet and cold, so we actually stayed inside the cruise terminal until the tour commenced.
That's right, we did. And I think we were in there about 2 hours, and finally we were called for our cruise when I think we had number 11, so all number 11s come. So we all queue up outside, not under any cover, and we had to line up and get our tickets from like a little shed. And those tickets told us what table we were sitting at, and it also told us the food, because we had to pre-order our food. So it had our table number and whether it was the hot dog or the seafood chowder.
Is this one of your funny stories
Yeah,
coming
so
up?
anyway, there's a little funny story now because we're in the queue and a lady in front of us was not very impressed, and she was complaining that Princess should have had all these tickets pre-organised on the ship.
What?
So we could go straight from the terminal to the ship to avoid any lining up.
Yeah, but
because she didn't want anyone, she thought it was too cold to be lining up.
Yeah, well, the problem is too that it was open to the public as well, not only Royal Princess people. So everybody had to buy their tickets all at once.
That's right. So, but anyway, she's cracked it. In her mind, she's saying Princess should have organised these tickets on the ship. So when we got off the ship, we'd go straight to the catamaran instead of lining up for, and it was a long line up too. It was a good half an hour. Well, anyway, we like, oh, she was embarrassing because she was complaining.
I think everybody in Whittier could hear her complain.
So we're like, oh, thank goodness, we're getting onto a catamaran, we won't have to see her anymore. So anyway, we get our ticket number, which tells us our table number, and it's table of 4. And guess who's sitting at our table?
Oh, that lady.
This lady.
Oh, gosh, we thought, well, there goes our delightful cruise tour.
Oh, Andrew's face just said 1,000 stories. Oh, it was so funny. And she was bad. She was still bad on the whole trip, really. No, she's one of these ladies that nothing was going to make her happy. But anyway, we tried to ignore as best as possible.
I ignored it completely.
Never mind, we survived.
Look, our first destination was the Blackstone Glacier. And this glacier is 500 metres wide and starts at an elevation of 1,500 metres. It flows for 11 kilometres, terminating at Blackstone Bay. And therefore we had the opportunity of getting up nice and close to that glacier out on the deck of the Klondike Express.
Oh, out on the deck, and you can't, like, you're still a fair distance away, but you felt like you were so close. And we were actually very lucky that day because they said when it's overcast,
which it was.
These glaciers shine blue. They're very blue. And if it's a sunny day, something to do with the rays going, the prisms and that hitting the ice, they're white, the glaciers are white. So we were very lucky. So we got to see beautiful blue glaciers. And we even got to see a little bit of carving, which was incredible. And it was just like a dream.
Oh, look, what a great start to this cruise.
It was a dream.
We then headed around Coalcross Island and took in the amazing wilderness.
Which was amazing.
It certainly was.
our way up the College Fjord again, but this time we were very close to the shoreline. And we noticed the ice was getting thicker and thicker and thicker, and lots of icebergs dotted the fjord from the glacier carvings.
Yeah, some of them were very large, weren't they?
Oh, they were big, and they say because you see the one on top of the water, and then it's as big, if not bigger again, under the waterline, isn't it?
Right.
So some of them were huge. We saw a bald eagle sitting on an iceberg, and plus we saw sea otters, seals, and one whale.
Well, we did see one whale, which was a bonus.
Well, I didn't actually see it. Everyone else on the ship saw it, on the boat saw it. But by the time I knew where they were all looking, it had gone. But never mind.
Unfortunately, we didn't have the camera on.
No, and there was a whale, so that was good.
Look, it was just sensational to be so close to Harbour Glacier. Much closer than when we were on the Royal Princess. And of course, Harbour Glacier, which we mentioned, is a tidewater glacier, and it's 2 kilometres wide where it enters the fjord. Massive when you get up close, wasn't it?
It's huge.
And look, it's also 38 kilometres long and covers 120,000 acres of the national forest in that area, and is actually 300 feet thick.
And it's really hard to comprehend something that big until you actually see it, and to think it's just like, it was a wall of ice, really, isn't it?
Oh,
just beautiful.
massive.
And once again, we were lucky because with the weather, it was blue.
It was very blue, actually.
So it was very nice.
And wow, much better than on this little boat than on the Royal Princess.
Well, they couldn't get close enough because the ship's too big.
Yeah,
but it was still a bonus
yeah.
the day before. On our way back to Whittier, the catamaran stopped so we could view this huge gull migratory colony.
Oh yeah, birds everywhere, wasn't there?
Oh, thousands and thousands of them.
Well, our thoughts on the tour. I would say it's probably the best shore tour or ship to shore tour I've ever been on. And I think a lot of people really wanted to go on to this tour as well, because we were told that there was a waiting list of over 300 people.
That's right.
So if you ever see 26 Glacier tour at Whittier, book it early.
Book early, don't miss it, because it really is, it's wonderful, isn't it? And we totally recommend that everybody
and we
get
would
the opportunity to do it. Yeah.
We would do it again in a heartbeat.
Yeah. And on the cruise we saw waterfalls, glaciers, otters, one whale, birds. And of course we all got up close and personal to glaciers, which are even more stunning in person, aren't they? Photos don't do them justice.
Photos don't.
No, that's right.
Back on the Royal Princess.
Drinking hand.
Drinking hand. We actually were drinking hand because we made our way to the Vines bar and had our standard pre-dinner drink in that place.
That's right. And then later that night we caught up with some friends that we had made on the ship, Barry and Keisha, for another drink.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, they were good fun, those two, weren't they?
They certainly were.
Finally, which is a bit sad, we said goodbye to our favourite entertainer, Paul Avers, as his contract was finishing and he was heading home to Portugal.
Yeah, that was a bit sad because we'd made good friends with Paul and we caught up with him many times. While on the cruise. And,
yes, he was a special person, I think.
Yeah, and he was certainly looking forward to getting home.
Oh, absolutely.
Back to his family.
His family, yes. He must have missed them terribly.
Yeah. Just want to say, we had the most absolute fantastic day despite the inclement weather. And as you said, this is a bucket list tour.
That's right, yes.
We hope you enjoyed part 16 of our holiday of a lifetime. In our next video, we continue cruising through Glacier Bay and dock in Sitka.